Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Gebo the Shaman, and today we're talking about, mental illness and the moon. So in astrology, the moon has a very significant impact on your mental health. It is the key indicator of, mental illness and things like that. So today I was just reading a comment by one of my viewers, one of my lovely viewers, and one of you had kind of mentioned, we're talking about your mother having narcissistic personality disorder. And it's not fun when a loved one has that, especially your mother. And there's a special significance to the mother having, a mental illness. Because guess what? The moon represents not only the mind, but also the mother. So that's a little significant piece for you. A lot of you are probably wondering where I've been, and as you may know, I just got back from vacation a few days ago. Actually, it's been a week. Last Monday, and then what happened is I got COVID, so that's fun. But luckily, the COVID, pretty much went away. I'm recovering from it today. I tested positive on Friday, and now I'm fully recovered. It's Monday, so there you go. I'm recovering. So you'll have to bear with me because I do have a bit of a headache. So let's jump into this video. Alright, so the moon, mental illness, and the mother. So the moon has a significant effect on our mental health. Why is that? Moon corresponds to emotions. Moon corresponds to water. How much percentage of the human body is made up of water? I think it's like 70-80%, something like that. Anyway, most of our bodies are made of water. Our brain is pretty much just like water in like electrical signals going through water, essentially. So this connection with the moon is very important. And astrologers and wise men, wise people a long time ago figured out that the moon has a strong correlation with the mind. And so even you can hear it in, the words of the the use of the word lunatic. Well, where did that word luna come from? The moon. Luna is moon. Same with psychosomatic. Where does soma come from? Soma is the moon. Anyway, so it's strongly connected with the moon. So what we're going to kind of discuss is like how the different phases of the moon can basically affect our mood, and especially the phase that you were born under. The percentage of the sunlight on the moon has a strong effect on your mental state. How happy you are, how sad, how depressed, and all that stuff. So, yeah, so there's a quote here that I'd like to discuss. It's, essentially what it says is, 50% of our happiness is determined by our genetics. Do you wonder why that is? The moon. It also says that 10% of our happiness is determined by our circumstances. And that's the 10% that we're all trying to control and strive after. Gee, I would only be happy. I would be happy only if I had that Ferrari. Only if I had that Lambo. Only if I had that perfect husband, perfect partner, perfect supermodel wife. Everybody's striving to get that 10% of happiness fulfilled by their circumstances. And then 40% is determined by our internal state of mind. Again, relating back to the moon. So the moon has a lot to do with our genetics, not only our genetics, but also our internal state of mind. So when I think of genetics, I think of, two things have to take place. We have to have a mother and a father. That's how babies are born. Not like today where they say men can have babies and all this bullshit, but because guess what? Newsflash, they can't. But anyway, that's besides the point. So we see 90% of our happiness are determined by our genetics and our state of mind, internal state of mind. That's 90%. So if you don't have the genetics to naturally be happy, like I don't, I did not want to get out of bed this morning. I just wanted to stay in bed and lounge around. And that happens when I'm feeling well and when I'm feeling ill, so, But anyway, 90% of our happiness is determined by our genetics, 50%, and 40% by our internal state of mind. So, and this comes from Sonia Lear something. I have this person pulled up. If you want to really know, you can ask me in the comments and I'll put it there. But yeah. But it's basically comes from the book that's called The How of Happiness. And this could be total bullshit. It could be made up. I don't know. But it seems pretty accurate. Seems legit to me. Anyway. So, essentially, we're talking about the moon and happiness. So we're talking essentially about that 40% by your internal state of mind, and that is determined by our moon. Like it's our natural default state is determined by where our moon is placed. Or I shouldn't say that. It's more of like the moon is an indicator of our natural state of mind, our natural way of being. Because when I say something like your mental state is determined by the moon, it kind of takes the power out of your hands and puts it into the moon's, which I don't like that. Because let's be honest, guys, you are responsible for your mental state. You are responsible for everything in your life. So it's nobody else's fault. Nobody did it to you. That's just the truth. And even though I don't like saying that, I don't like hearing that sometimes, but it's just the truth. And you know, if I told you, well, this is just fate. This is just your fate. There's nothing that you could do about it. That's a very shitty, depressed place to be in, you know? Like, there's nothing I can do about my mental health. Damn. You know, but that's just not true. There's plenty of things that you can do. Hell, my mental health has improved by doing things related to groups, you know, 12-step programs, things like that, and group therapy, group counseling, stuff like that. So there are things that you can do for yourself. And in fact, maybe that's another hack that I'll share. I haven't fully fleshed it out, whether it works for everybody or not, but it seems to be working for me. So, yeah. Alright, so what's the first thing? So kind of how your mental state is determined is through the phases of the moon. A lot of people don't talk about the phases of the moon in your birth chart. That's not something that I really talk about either. But anyway, when the moon is going from like a blank, empty moon that has no sunlight on it to a full moon, it's called a waxing moon. So it's growing to full. That's waxing. And then when it's going from waxing to waning to from full to a new moon, that's called waning. Alright, so then we have, so what is that? So basically in a waxing moon, the moon is getting more sunlight on it until it reaches a full moon, and then it's gradually decreasing that. So naturally, on a waxing moon, you are going to be more optimistic, more full of optimism, encouragement, self-drive, self-motivated, and you'll see things as getting better, see things as optimistic rather than pessimistic. So yeah, you'll see that through that lens, but also it depends on the moon's fullness, because you could be on a waxing moon and you could have, you know, just like a few days after the moon turned to a new moon and it's going to full, that would be waxing, and it has like about 2% of sunlight on it. That still would give you like a kind of depression and stuff, or just be like, not, you wouldn't feel, you might like not try to kill yourself, but I know that's a dark way to put it, but like, yeah, some people just say, oh, it's not getting better, and I just want to end it. But other people will say, well, yeah, I'm not feeling good right now. Life is shitty, but someday, it'll be better. Someday I might not have the amount of depression that I have right now, so that's what keeps them in it, kind of keeps them going. So if the moon is like 50%, you're fine. If it's like below 50%, so I guess what I'm saying is like, I forget the Vedic terminology of this, but essentially it's the Tithi, Tithi, and that's like the lunar day that you were born in. So if you were born close to a full moon, whether it's waxing or waning, you're in good shape. If you're born close to a new moon, whether it's waxing or waning, it's going to be difficult. That gives you a little bit of hard times. So, like the fuller the moon will be, like the better mental health will be. The less full, the opposite, the worse it'll be. So then we have things like an exalted moon and a debilitated moon. So let's talk about the actual moon placement. So if the moon is exalted in Taurus, what does that mean? That means that it's a stable mind. Taurus is the earth element. Taurus is earth element. And Taurus is stable. It's steady. It is balanced. You know how they put, like, in Africa you'll see bulls carrying like bags of rice. They'll put a little stick across the back and then have like bags on the sides. That's Taurus. Like, essentially that's what it is. It's essentially like stable, balanced, something that you can rely on and lean on. And so even if you don't have the greatest phase of the moon, or is that what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So even if you don't have the greatest phase of the moon going on in your chart, in your moon placement, if your moon is placed in Taurus, you'll do pretty well, generally speaking. You can usually figure out how to overcome your mental health issues pretty well. And it usually gives you some resiliency, like, things might be shitty, but I'm gonna beat this. I'm not going to let it consume me, You'll have that kind of attitude about it. So it gives you kind of some stability, some, support in there, and it supports the moon. And then we have, if your moon is debilitated, so that's Taurus is excelled or exalted. If your moon is debilitated, that would be your moon is in Scorpio. And in Scorpio, it's the exact opposite. Scorpio is the sign of what? It's sudden ups and downs, sudden gains and losses, sudden, transformation, turmoil, sudden, unexpected life events happening, and it just shit happening. Essentially. So it's not very stable. It's very chaotic. Scorpio is also the sign of your unconscious mind. So the deep, dark things that you have buried, those things will be popping up into your mind constantly, and you'll be thinking about those the things that you don't want to think about, scary, crappy thoughts, and that'll consume you, and so that's not good. So if you have a full moon, sorry, I'm still kind of loopy from being sick. If you have your moon in Scorpio, you should pray that it's full. A full moon, or having your moon near full will, whether it's waxing or waning, if it's near full, 50% or more, that should help you. But yes, Scorpio is always a difficult sign to deal with. And then, so I'll just tell you guys, I'm having a really hard time today. Just like, alright. Get it together, man. Alright, and then I'll just say, like for me, my moon is in Aquarius. So the tip that I have for people with moon in Aquarius, I'm not sure if this works for all signs, but it works for me, is being social. So what is Aquarius? The Aquarius is friends, network circles, large groups, large organizations, things like that. Just being in a large group, in a friends circle, a friendship circle, that really changed my mental health a lot, because then I had people to go to. I think that can still be helpful if your moon is, like, no matter where your moon is placed. I think, developing common humanity and really getting together with other people and helping, being of service and, being involved in some kind of a community. I don't care if it's 12 steps. I don't care if it's a hobby group, a class, a yoga class, something. Be involved, get involved with humanity, get involved with other people, because what does this do? This takes you out of your own shitty thinking your own myopic, self-absorbed thinking, and that, if you're self-absorbed, hey, guess what? It takes one to know one. I am too. Everybody is. So it helps to get out of that and really see humanity, the bigger picture. And especially for my moon in Aquarius, I'm thinking that's why I'm drawn to that so much. I need that as part of my life, is that moon in Aquarius. However, I know people who are not moon in Aquarius, and they still love, it really helps to, be a part of the group and things like that. So anyway, so yeah, then we had, just being a part of a group is extremely helpful and important to mental health. Because why? What does Chandra want to do? Chandra is the moon. The Vedic terminology for the moon is Chandra, and Chandra wants to make the world its family. It wants to reach out to the world in a heart-centered manner and love on the world, so that it's like a equal give and take of a free give and take of love. And so yeah, it's reaching out to the whole world to make it its family. Because when you do that, when you share your emotions, when you share your feelings with the world, it just kind of things, you get that burden lifted off of you. And if people are being healthy and and kind and not not being a-holes, if you can find a safe space where you can just share openly, then that just kind of removes all kinds of pressure, because you're not judging yourself for having your feelings. You can just share whatever you're feeling openly. And the thing about that is the more vulnerable we become, the more open and transparent we become, the more we can see humanity in ourselves and others. The more others can see the humanity in us and relate to that. And the cool thing about that is, like, the judgment is dropped. It's when people don't want to see the things within themselves that they can't face, that they become judgmental about of others, because they see it in others but not themselves. That's called projection. So yeah, anyway, we're talking about the moon. So let me see. Golly, I'm losing it today, guys. I'm loopy. But anyway, so I was gonna say, like, something that you could try is, like I was saying, since my moon is in Aquarius, I go to large groups and I vent my feelings to large groups. Support groups, not just random groups of strangers. Support groups, 12-step groups, all that. But you know, if your moon is in Aries, you could try this. Try working out. Try getting the physical body moving. Because a lot of that's a huge thing for people too, is like their physical body is stagnant, so their mental health deteriorates. If your moon is in Aries, you need to be moving. You need to be moving your body and getting healthy, and you know, even like join a like an amateur sports team, like just a local baseball team or something like that. Something, hell, even create a league with your friends, like where you and your friends get together and play. The sense of competition, the sense of physical activity, working together to compete, and all that can be really helpful for an Aries moon. And then Taurus, I spilled water all over myself. So for Taurus, and these are suggestions that I think will help you guys. I'm not just pulling stuff out of my butt. Like, if I say something, I genuinely think it's going to help you guys. I could be wrong, but Anyway, Taurus, there's just a sense of you need to connect with the earth. You might need to go on walks in nature. You need to actually pamper yourself. So if your moon is in Taurus, you need to actually, I'm not saying every day go to the spa. Not saying that. I'm saying within your means, regularly, make it a point to take care of yourself. Take care of your physical body. Go get your hair cut. Go get your nails done. Go get a massage. Massage for Taurus is really good. To just help improve that mental health. Because Taurus is all about loving yourself, nurturing yourself, things like that. So, just self-care, whether it's you get a scented candle, you put light candles and do a warm bath, something like that. Just relax and really take care of yourself. And then for Gemini, I would say it's good to talk your feelings out. Talking with people. Talking, especially in a therapeutic setting where you can talk freely and not be interrupted. I think that's huge for Gemini, because you have so much stuff in your head. It's just it just needs to come out. So if you're struggling with, especially Gemini can be prone to anxiety, to issues with the nervous system, things like that. Yeah, that like even if you can't see a therapist, talk with a friend who will just let you vent. That'll be healthy for you. That'll be helpful for you. And then Cancer. Therapy again, gonna be super helpful for you. Go to the ocean. Go put your feet in the ocean, if you can. Or if not the ocean, some kind of a body of water. Yeah, just do just like sit there and just, kind of meditate and put your, be in the water, just relax and let yourself release all the stuff, all the negative stuff. And then the other thing is like, mothering, like, for example, you might do better if you had something to take care of. So, for example, a dog, a cat, some kind of an animal, even like a gerbil or hamster. I think the happiness comes from taking care of something for you, like actually nurturing something, caring for something, being kind and compassionate for something. There was a great meditation that or like a visualization meditation that my therapist gave me a while back. And that was to essentially like picture something that you love in your mind, like have unconditional love for. And for me, since I don't have much people in my life, that was my dog. One of my dogs is just a cute little lap dog that just sits in my lap and, just so cute and funny and like just brightens my day. So, my therapist says, okay, well, picture your dog. And, she says, now put a bubble around your dog and fill that bubble with unconditional love. And then once that's done, then expand the bubble to about your size. Fill it with unconditional love and expand it, and and then walk into that bubble yourself, so that way you're in that bubble of unconditional love. And yeah, so that's a really good meditation to do. I'm sure you can probably find it online if you looked hard enough. But yeah. So Cancer, highly recommend. like guided meditations of unconditional love for you. And going to the beach, surrounding yourself with loved ones, people who you genuinely care about, and people who you know genuinely care about you. Hold on, guys. Hello, guys. Alright, so sorry I had to pause it there. Someone was at my door. Don't know why. Anyway, so oh yeah, I was thinking again for like Taurus, if your moon is in Taurus, doing something like art. If your moon is in Taurus or Libra, doing art could be something good for you. If it's in Leo, spending time in the sun. Like, people don't give that enough credit. Being in the sun, being in nature, being around the ocean, all those things are great for your mental health. It's just sometimes we don't really think about it. But yeah, being in the sun, I'm not saying go sunburn yourself. I'm not saying go look like a crab. Everything in moderation, but a little bit more sunlight will not hurt you, especially if you put on sunscreen if you're worried about it. And then with what is it, Virgo? With Virgo moon, I would say probably just like just like relax, because that Virgo is very analytical, critical, very it's very, very smart. I would say take a break from like using your brain too much. Just relax. And then Libra, art, doing art and things like that. Also, developing really good relationships, friendships, network circles. Even if, because some romantic relationships, like your partner doesn't want to hear about all the feelings and and everything. That can be kind of overwhelming for them. So, yeah, I get that. However, if you maybe find like an emotionally available or emotionally supportive friend that could help you. And yeah. Oh yeah, for Leo. So back to Leo. For Leo, I would say highly recommend like creative outlets. So let's say you're feeling frustrated or angry, frustrated. Put that into a creative outlet. You could make a song about it. You could make an art piece about it or something like that. So yeah. So yeah. Then we have Scorpio. So counseling is going to be helpful for Scorpio. having especially like CBT, because if you do CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, if you do that, that's kind of training your brain what is rational and what is irrational. And it's like kind of making sense of reality, making sense of your thoughts and feelings versus what's true and what isn't, kind of thing. So therapy can be helpful. For severe depression and things like that, I've heard that ketamine therapy can be super helpful. Again, guys, I am not a doctor, so don't quote me. But yeah, I've heard of ketamine therapy, also like psychedelic therapy, or yeah, like psilocybin therapy, things like that. Hey, whatever works. It's like don't be afraid to try things if you feel like it'll be helpful. So, yeah. And then for Sagittarius moons, something revolving around religious, having, if you're like a Christian or something like that, you could talk with your pastor. You could talk with your pastor or something like that. If you're non-religious or maybe spiritual, get a guru, or reach out to someone for counseling, spiritual counseling or something like that. Yeah, so, and then I think writing could be very helpful for Sagittarius, and also Gemini and Virgo. Writing, journaling, all that stuff. And then we have my brain is not working for me today, guys. Then we have Capricorn. So Capricorn, your moon is in Capricorn. I would say probably I would say take some time off. Take some time off work and slow your mind down. You don't have to be a workaholic all the time. You can take a break. You can slow down. And I know, because I'm this way too. It's like I can't take a break because my mind is always going. I have to always do things. I have to get things done. But now this past month or so has been a good opportunity for me to learn how to actually slow down and relax. So, I've had illnesses. My throat has gone out. I've been away on vacation, and then now that I got back, I got COVID. So it's just clusterfuck. So, yeah, anyway, so Capricorn, take time off of work. Aquarius, again, the large groups. Large groups are incredibly, they don't even have to be large. They can be, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. I would say 3 to 6 people. I have a personal recovery group called the Power of 5 group, and those guys are awesome. I absolutely love being in that group. It's such a amazing group to be part of, like, because it's just like, it takes all that stuff that, because my home group is a pretty large group of like 20 to 30 guys at a meeting, and so it takes that from that amount of guys to like 5, so it's amazing. So yeah, it's really good to have those small groups, personal relationships, and things like that. So, and then we have the Pisces. Advice for Pisces would be meditate, do spiritual practices. I mean, that's what I did just before getting on this this video with you guys, is just meditated, did a mantra, prayed, asked for guidance and wisdom. Yeah, because I was and thankfully it worked, because honestly, like, I was coming on here and I was like, okay, well, what the hell am I gonna talk about today? I have nothing to talk about. I am so disinterested in astrology today, and just bleh. So I'm really glad that I actually found something to talk about. And so yeah, tomorrow will have its challenges of its own. I'm sure I'm gonna be asking the universe the same question tomorrow. What the hell do I talk about? I don't know what to talk about and things like that. Anyway, so yeah, my brain is a little fried from COVID still. So I appreciate you guys being with me. Probably like 50 minutes into the video or something like that. It's crazy. Anyway, I appreciate you being here. Go ahead and give this video a like, a subscribe, and click that bell button, that notification button. If you made it this far into the video, you are an absolute trooper. Oh yeah, and another thing is, I released my book, Tantric Secrets of Vedic Astrology, and you can find it on Amazon. The link is down below in the description, and you can click that link, or you can go to Gebo the Shaman. Both places will take you there to that, so you can buy the book. And not only that, it also has a print version now. So the print version is now out and released, and so that's all good stuff. I'm super proud of that work. That's not something that I say often or at all about my work, but I am. I'm thrilled that I got something out, at least. And something that I've learned about with my teacher is that, hey, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just do your imperfect best is all that's required. So anyway, I have a bunch of things to sell you guys if you're interested in that. But yeah, I have my Vedic astrology readings. I have my Vedic astrology certification course. Consultations, readings, Qigong courses, birth time rectification. I do rune readings, career coaching, life coaching, trauma healing course, distance energy healing, and a bunch of other stuff, you can go to GeboTheShaman.com to check all that stuff out. And I am exhausted, so I'll see you either tomorrow or in a few days. We'll see. But anyway, it was good seeing you guys, and we will talk to you later. Peace.